In recent years, artificial intelligence applications have spread very significantly, and although the term artificial intelligence, work on it and its use, it started from a long time, specifically in the 1950s and 1960s. But with the passage of years and the spread of computers more in the world and the increase in their capabilities and their internal accustomed, this helped a lot in increasing the development of artificial intelligence applications. We started to see many applications and programs that work with artificial intelligence and serve very many fields, whether medical or scientific fields, but for most ordinary people. The start of the great spread of artificial intelligence applications was with OpenAI's announcement of its new product Chat with its various versions. Especially the third free version, because currently the fourth version is paid and not free. And you're able to ask any question in the chat and zakat for the industry. The development of applications that work with artificial intelligence, the most important of which are applications like a store, through which you can create pictures of any need you can imagine. And literally, any need you can imagine. As soon as you write it, imagine and write to him any description that you want for any need that you can imagine. After that, the application is making a processing for your request and showing you a set of pictures of the description that you wrote. You can also enter a picture of you and write to him a description of the form that you want to appear with the image, and then you will do a treatment, and you see 4 images from which you choose from what you attributed, and the truth of the application is to show fairy results in the shortest possible time as possible, the highest possible quality, and you can take days and weeks in their design, and in the other, you will not look at the same quality. In addition to artificial intelligence applications for sounds, I can hear any songs with the voice of a second singer other than the owner of the original song. Also, you can hear the song Mahasmak for Nawal with the voice of Abdul Halim Hafiz. Delicious Misika. It is not, but this is that you are also able to reproduce the sound of the singer's imprint himself and make him sing any new words and the melody, like what the composer Amr Mustafa did not work and wrote the lyrics of the song and taught it and sang with the fingerprint of the voice of the illegal, and this through artificial intelligence. Subscribe to the channel. Music. This is a very simple embodiment of artificial intelligence and its applications, so I can pave it for the topic of our subjects, and of course you can search and know more about all areas of artificial intelligence. Okay, so that we have known an introduction to artificial intelligence, now we want to talk about our main topic, and we imagine to enter artificial intelligence in the field of software mobile phone. Specifically related to tools and software programs, but before we enter into the topic of artificial intelligence, I want you to bring your coffee and the screen grows and focuses with me, because this video can be a little long. And if you see this video and love to learn the field of software mobile from scratch and without any prior experience you have about the field, you can subscribe to us in the online courses for the professional software of the mobile phone, which we hold in it from scratch literally and without any experience. And I will give you the links of the courses on the Udemy site, and I will give you a video that explains to you the details and curricula of the courses and the sequence of the study process. And now, at night, we will start, and at the beginning, let us take a quick joke from the beginning of tools software, through the developments and updates that took place during the years that missed. The real beginning was with the descent of the dongles and the luxuries, but of course, tools and other cables were older than the boxes and dongles that we knew now, and we used programs in Toldi in dealing with the old Nokia devices and some of the second Brocas, like Siemens and Sony devices, and of course, the topic was difficult to deal with these tolls and cables because they were not a professional toll in the literal sense, such as the toll that we see now. And then how many years The topic began to develop more and the second market comes down, which is linked to the dongles and luxes. In the period, this was necessary to buy boxes in order to work software, and take your mind that by saying that it is necessary. Because most of the devices at that time were Nokia, Samsung, Motorola, Sony and some other bonds, and because they deal with them, so we had to use some cables. Such as quantum cables, RG cables, or thousands of BOS cables, and because you use the cables, so the box must be in the port of KM or a BOS. Consequently, then you had to buy the bow with its complete cables in order to use it and spoil the devices, its pattern, or the disintegration of its code. But with the passage of time and the end of the Android system, most of the work remained using the USB cables only. Consequently, we are not forced to buy a box with all its cables, because we can buy a dongle and work on it without any problems because we did not need this cables. But whether you bought the box or the dongle, it is necessary, and inevitably, of course, it will be its atmosphere. SIM-Zaki chip and has a very similar segment for the mobile slice, which is the most important because the chip is the one that is registered with the serial dongle or the box with your own. It is the most important factor of program protection because you are to occupy any program for any product you have, whether it is a box or dongle, so it is necessary at the beginning. Program. Then it allows you to run the program, and this is the method of protection that most of the products follow now, whether by bips or dungs. Because they can have to travel a second country or a second governorate to buy the box or the dongle, and currently the shipping companies have facilitated this topic very much, but the problem will be preferred to be in some provinces or countries. And whoever does not have stores or centers for selling bows and draws, and here it remained our hostility with a new development and a second step that got the software tools, which is the feature and update of operating products online, which was supported by many products that are currently present. I mean, now you can carry the product program and buy online activation and then write the username and the password with your account and register directly to the program and start working on it without any problems. More importantly, you work without a hard piece of hardware, whether it is a box or dongle, because the online products are tied to servers and databases, and that your account information, your activation number and the date of its end are recorded on. And all the information, some of which were registered on smart card, but unfortunately, until now, not all the products that exist in the market supporting digital activations online, and there are many products that are working on old, and you must have a dongle or a box. In order to be able to work on it, this is the last thing that the world of development of the software products has reached to the extent today. I mean, you can buy the box or the dongle or buy the activation online and occupy the program normal without the presence of box or dongle. But for me, I was waiting for a second step and another development that takes place so that we have many and different choices, but unfortunately I did not find it until today. The most famous products that are on the market and the development that I mean is to issue a customized version of the product, but for the web browser, fortunately, I met the advantage by chance in a product of Samsung's engineers. Come on, I will give you a practical example of this topic now. If we go to the official website of the tool, we will find information about it, as usual, and we will also meet the states of the countries so that we can carry the tool on our computer, and when we carry it, we operate it and register in it with our account information and who we registered on the official website, and then we can work normal on the tool and ship it on it and overwhelm the FRP protections for Samsung devices without any problems. But a moment that can be someone asking me, what is the new here? There is not a lot of digital online, as we said, and we knew from a little, so what is new here? I will tell you. Focus with me now. I am talking about her atmosphere, about the number of carts, the state of the server and the information. And in it all the operations that exist on the length that we carried without any change, in the event that we love us, a comparison between them. I mean, now you can open the browser and go to the site of the tool. And it is registered, and then the mobile phone with you is connected to the USB port and works directly on the program through the version of the characteristic and without any programs. Without what you buy any done gel or box, and for this program in particular, the topic may be simple, because the product is not the process of the process, as you see. It is the process of stopping the protection of FRP, but for the rest of the tolls, which has dozens of operations and bonds, it may be a little difficult. And it takes a long time in order to develop a copy dedicated to the web and the browser. But it is this step that I was waiting for from all teams of the software products so that the user has many choices. I mean, you have a kinship box. Or you have a done gel. The Bardo is able to work, and of course the different options and copies that help the product spread quickly among users because all people will be able to work while they are in the world. A master, can I, now you ask me and say to me if you say that there are no steps and updates that you did not get, so we will talk about the step of artificial intelligence once, I will tell you, sir, we will imagine the shape that we can see in the future, I mean, it can happen and what can happen. Or it may happen a third pure need different from our words in the video we'll prefer on YouTube and we can return to it as well as for how many years and we see whether you need from what we imagined or not. And because you walk with one single me and imagine with me the future, so we quickly let us know a preview of the way to make artificial Zakat applications, and here I will talk about the topic in general quickly, I mean, I will not talk about the programming languages used. Or algorithms or any need to program. The idea of artificial intelligence applications is essentially the idea to create a bot or let us say it is a model and the model is trained regularly from developers. Exactly like a young child, I mean, for example, if we're designing an application to know and detect cancer, then a model is created, as we said, and the model is fed with hundreds of thousands, pictures and rays. People with cancer and all the pictures and inputs are trained by the model through a nervous network similar to the nervous network. Because after that, when the doctors enter any X-ray images, he is very easily analyzed and discovers. Is this patient actually suffering from cancer or not? And all that is trained in new images, so it increases its efficiency and its ability to arrange and analyze the information that is fed with it, and this is the idea of artificial intelligence simply. I attended you, and most of the young people who watch this video, now many times, we participate in our own training models and the greatest example of this captive operations. Or verification and those who see them always on most sites and forums on the internet and attended you when you intervene on any site and solve the issue of kappa that is in it and choose similar shapes or animals, for example. Consequently, it helps to increase his ability after that he gets to know the pictures and inputs, analyzes them, and knows the levels of congruence between all the inputs that are trained on them. Okay, just now, we knew a simple embodiment of the way to make artificial Zakat applications. Let us go back to our basic topic, which is that we imagine the future tools software, which can work with artificial Zakat. And take your mind, I am here to talk about the famous tolls in our work, which is located in the GSM market, whether with dungs, or paid programs. Because there are programs that are currently present and working at time with artificial intelligence, such as programs and other programs that can be used in showing the screen locking symbols without dignity and without losing datas and programs to be more advanced than the usual software of software with our own. Because it works through deep learning and searches inside all files and mobile pieces to show us the screen of the screen lock in the process, specifically, they are very difficult than dealing with the rest of the protections that we know, such as FRP, MDM, Huawei ID and Xiaomi account protections and the rest. But to delete the icon of the screen, or appear it without formation or flashing, this is so very difficult for most of the tolls currently present, especially with updates of continuous protection levels on mobiles, and if some tolls are currently received. It is supported by these operations, so you will have old models with low levels. Because without artificial intelligence, it will be very, very difficult or impossible, so that the password appears without the data. Well, let's go back to the regular tools software, which we all use and imagine with some development that can happen on it in the future, and also in order to simplify the topic on you and understand it well. And understand the general idea that I mean, as I designed a prototype or a simple principle of a stereotype for the purpose of explaining the idea, and it is assumed that the tool will work with artificial intelligence. I divided the tool for two basic values, all the lists and designations that are in the tool. It is the value of manual operations and the value of artificial intelligence operations, which is the value of AI operations, as you see this, and let us start with the first value. It is the value of manual processes and what you see. The value is applied to most of the software currently present. And this form that we all know and get back to it, but the different thing here is that within each list of the boldest and models such as the Samsung list, for example, and you will be added to it. The operations in which we will need human intervention or write some files from inside the computer, we are like the flashing lists, the lists of writing of the Syriacs, writing and reading the network files. The same thing is that it was in the mediatheek list, and the hand operations in which we will need human intervention and the writing of flavors and important files. Likewise, with the rest of the lists of processors and bonds here in performance, it is possible that someone can ask me, where are the rest of the other operations, especially the processes of dealing with protections and overcoming them for all the boulders and models? And come now, we go to the value of artificial intelligence, and notice with me here that the value is only one button, and I chose a name for me. It is Fire and Fly, but it is not necessary to be in this name in all tools and actual programs, and the button can meet the name Start, One Click, or Execute or any other name, what we have to do with the name, but the most important thing is that we know its function and importance. So, let us see with some time if we have any mobile phone for any brand, and it has any protections, so all we have to do is that we will reach the cable and we will cover the Fire and Fly. After that, the program will start to get to know the mobile phone connected to the cable, whatever the branding is his own, and he reads his information and the info in his hand, and then begins to call the server and its database. Then he starts searching inside the phone for the number of exclusive protections, and then begins to associate all the protections and their condition, whether on or off. And when he gets to know it, he begins to analyze it, deal with it, stop it, and delete it from the mobile, and all of this is done with a button and without many complicated steps or a failure, and of course in the ordinary, there is no mobile, it will be done on all the protections. But as I told you, we imagine what can happen in the future in the same process. We will connect to the mobile with the cable and press the process button, and then the program begins through artificial zakat in searching inside the mobiles and its files on any of the protections that are active on it and begins to deal with it and overcome it and eliminate it easily and quickly, and this is the imagination of the personal of some of the artificial intelligence that can be added to give up the software in the future. But of course this is not easy and it will take a long time in development and training because we are so that we work like that. Initially, we need to design an artificial intelligence model and we train and define a specific scenario for it and enters it with thousands of data and inputs from mobile phones with different armies and models and with software versions and different protection levels, so that after that, he can get to know most of the protections, deals with them and stop them, and therefore all the model trains more on different devices, its ability will increase over time. He will be able to deal with most of the protections, and this is a preliminary imagination in my view for the future of tools in light of artificial intelligence, especially in dealing with the protections because most of our jobs will be dedicated to the protections, but on the ground. And I do not know whether this talk can happen or not, and if it happens, will it happen near and do not take a long time to some extent we reach the result, as they were in the example. I wish you would share your readers and imagine the future of the tolls in light of the artificial zakat, and whether we imagine this happens after that, or not, and if the topic, you like me in the comments, so that it is possible after that we do another part and discover. It talks about the treatment of artificial intelligence, but the time is with the operating systems of the mobile phones itself away from the software. Just like that, and of course, if you took advantage of the video, you will not forget to support us, and you will subscribe to the channel and do the bell so that all the new videos will receive the first pile and you will see the good of the video that comes, God willing. Peace.